Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, The Secret Life of T, or if you are new to my channel, welcome. In tonight's video, I want to talk about Ed and Lorraine Warren and the cases that they did. Edward Warren was born September 7, 1926 and passed away August 23, 2006. And Lorraine Rita Warren was born January 31st, 1927 and passed away April 18, 2019. They were both American paranormal investigators and authors associated with prominent cases of hauntings. Edward was a World War II United States Navy veteran and former police officer who became a self-taught and self-professed demonologist, author, and lecturer. Lorraine professed to be clairvoyant and a light trance medium who worked closely with her husband. In 1952, the Warrens founded the New England Society for Psychic Research, the oldest ghost hunting group in New England. They authored numerous books about the paranormal and about their private investigations into various reports of paranormal activity. They claim to have investigated over 10,000 cases during their career. The Warrens were among the very first investigators in the controversial Amityville haunting. Stories of ghost hauntings popularized. Sorry, I can't talk. But the Warrens have been adapted as or have indirectly inspired dozens of films, television series, and documentaries, including 17 films in the Amityville horror series and 7 films in the Conjuring universe. Next, I'm going to discuss a little bit of 6 cases that Ed and Lorraine Warren participated in. 6 paranormal cases investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren that we can't stop talking about. Demonologists, authors, lecturers, and occult Ed and Lorraine Warren are 2 of the world's most well-known paranormal investigators. Their case of which was carried out through their New England Society for Psychic Research involved everything from exorcisms alongside priests, seances, and spirit cleansings to photographic of supernatural events. It also brought them to people and places around the country, resulting in supernatural accounts so disturbing they've inspired numerous box office adaptations. These 6 Warren family cases attention. And the 6 cases are: number 1, the Perron family haunting. When Roger and Carolyn, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Perron moved their family, including their 5 young daughters, to their new 200-acre home in Harrisville, Rhode Island. They were unaware of its allegedly insidious former resident. Originally, the country home was once inhabited by Bathsheba Thayer and her 4 children, 3 of them young. Despite the era's high infant mortality rates, those deaths and the circumstances rose suspicion within the town, resulting in the labeled a Satanist by her community members. She allegedly hanged herself in the backyard. While the family lived in the home, numerous pleasant ghostly acts like spirits playing with the children or helping do chores were reported. The sober, darker interactions from ghosts like Thais, who took on a more menacing presence in the home. The Perron family. And it goes on. Disembodied voices, furniture moving on its own, and full spectral appearances were among the many ghostly experiences shared by the Perron family. They got names I can't pronounce. I'm just gonna say Carolyn was allegedly one of the Thyre's most consistent targets, supposedly jealous of the living woman's role as both mother and wife. The ghost reportedly pinched and slapped Carolyn quite a bit, and even touched Roger inappropriately on several occasions. The Warrens were brought in to help in 1974, but their presence aggravated the conditions, and Thyre's supposed ghosts so much that the family eventually asked them to leave. Horror icon James Wan, I hope I'm saying that right, used the Perron family's experience in his box office hit The Conjuring in 2013. Case number 2, the Amityville case. Arguably the most famous of Ed and Lorraine Warren's paranormal investigations, this investigation has been adapted into a frightening and seemingly unending film franchise. This Warren case involved the Lutz family. The Lutz took up residence in a suburban Dutch colonial house in Amityville, Long Island in 1975. Only a year before their move-in, the residence had been the site of a deadly mass murder when Ronald DeFeo Jr. brutally killed 6 members of his family. For 28 days, the Lutz and their 3 children lived in that very same house. While there, the family reported voices, swarms of flies, welts, family members levitating, banging noises, and unseen entities. Ed and Lorraine Warren were eventually called in to cleanse the house and brought a local TV crew with them. After snapping photos, including one featuring a boy with glowing eyes, the Warrens determined that the land had curses on it. Blah. In a 2013 interview with Yahoo, Lorraine Warren said the Amityville house was the one case that haunts her the most. Amityville was horrible, she said. During a press conference for The Conjuring, it was absolutely horrible. It followed us right straight across the country. I will never go in the Amityville house ever again, says Lorraine Warren. The third case is Annabelle the doll. And if you don't know, Annabelle is the Raggedy Ann doll, and there's the other doll from the movies, Annabelle. And it says, this investigation took the Warrens to a thing rather than a place. More specifically, a Raggedy Ann doll that was purchased in an antique store, a much less sinister imaging than her 2014 Annabelle film counterpart. Given to the buyer's daughter, the nursing student and her roommate quickly began to notice odd occurrences involving the doll, such as changing positions or rooms. That eventually escalated to messages on paper and blood on the doll's dress. And at one point, violence. Annabelle took particular aim at the fiancé of one roommate who claims he woke up frozen in bed as the doll crawled up his body and strangled him. He also allegedly claimed that upon entering a darkened room where the doll rested, he felt something attack him. When he flipped the switch, he saw his stomach covered in blood, scratches, and the doll on the floor. Yeah. One reason why I don't own any dolls, because they creep me out really badly. The behavior freaked the roommates out so much that they called in a medium, who explained that she believed the doll as possessed by the spirits of a deceased 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins. Higgins had supposedly died on the land where the apartment stood. The Warren family also got involved, determining that a demonic presence was in fact behind the doll. They performed a blessing in the residence before taking Annabelle off the young woman's hands. Annabelle has since become a permanent and prominent fixture in the Warren's Connecticut Occult Museum. And then case number 4 is a haunting in Connecticut. In 1986, Carmen and Al Snedker, I hope I'm saying that right, rented a home in Southend, Connecticut to be closer to the hospital where their son was receiving treatment. Unfortunately, the family had little knowledge about the resident's strange and gruesome past. The former funeral home came complete with the remnants of a mortuary in the basement and a graveyard outside. Upon moving in, their eldest son began seeing terrifying visions of ghosts. The family would uncover the existence of toe tags in the house regularly. Lights often flickered, dishes would shake, the smell of decaying flesh hovered, and reportedly water would, on occasion, turn blood red. Carmen and Al even alleged that the demons had sodomized them during their 2-year period there. The Snedekers asked Ed and Lorraine Warren for help, and the investigators attributed the hauntings to the ghosts of those who were brought to the funeral home. According to the Warrens, the morticians partook in unsavory activities with the dead bodies, and after a 2-year stay, the Snedekers finally moved out. Like the Perron story, the Snedekers' haunting was immortalized in film. Okay. And then case number 5, the Southend Werewolf. Perhaps one of the more unusual cases from Ed and Lorraine Warren's case list. This investigation took the Warrens out of the U.S. to a seaside town in Essex, England. There, a man by the name of Bill Ramsey was believed to be possessed by a demon that manifested as a wolf. Growing up, Ramsey was a normal, happy boy. One day, though, at the young age of 9, he suddenly began exhibiting inhuman qualities. Reportedly, while playing outside in his backyard, Ramsey felt a frigid cold overtake him, and his nostrils were overcome with an awful stench before he flew into a rage. Uprooting a fence post, fence still attached, and gnawing on its wire meshing, Ramsey eventually grew up, becoming a loving husband and father of 3, and was incident-free until the 1960s. The early The earlier years of his marriage was plagued by nightmares, cold sweats, and waking up to the pants of a wild animal, which he soon realized were coming from him. In the 1980s, Bill would repeatedly feel overcome by the sensations he had as a child while hanging out with friends, and even once while doing a citizen's arrest. At one point, he attacked a friend in a car on their way from a pub and manhandled police in intense alterations on several occasions. And I meant altercation. You know what I mean. In the midst of this, Ramsey spent several stints in the hospital, all featuring the same symptoms of rage: inhuman strength, bared teeth, growling, hunched shoulders, and hands curled like claws. In an interview with the Warrens about their experience with Ramsey, Ed Warren stated that Ramsey would ask to be locked up in a jail cell for his protection and the protection of the public. When the Warrens got wind of Ramsey's situation, they asked him to their Connecticut home, where Bishop Robert McKenna would perform a recorded exorcism on Ramsey. And to be honest, I did try to find the real footage of the exorcism, hoping that it would be somewhere on Google, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find it to include it in this video of Ed and Lorraine Warren's cases, but I do have pictures. Case number 6 is the trial of Orange Cheyenne Johnson. In this landmark trial, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren were called to testify on behalf of Orange Cheyenne Johnson, the first known case in the U.S. to use the "devil made me do it" defense. On the evening of February 16, 1981, 19-year-old Johnson engaged Debbie Glatzel and out for dinner with her. Their landlord, Alan Bono, and others stabbed Bono multiple times using a pocket knife. Johnson would plead not guilty by possession, a defense founded on Johnson's relationship with his soon-to-be wife's younger brother, David. In the summer of 1980, David woke to what he described as a man with big black eyes, a thin face with animal features, and jagged teeth, pointed ears, horns, and hoofs. The demon's description mirrors the creature from horror hit Insidious, and apparently scared David so much that Debbie turned to Arnie for help. Johnson couldn't find a reasonable explanation for David's bruises or scratches, so the family pivoted to a priest. That supposedly only angered the entity more, causing it to make David speak in multiple voices and quote Paradise Lost. The Warrens were brought in an interview with People magazine. Lorraine stated that while Ed interviewed the boy, I saw a black misty form next to him, which told me we were dealing with something of a negative nature. Soon the child was complaining that invisible hands were choking him and there were red marks on him. He said that he had the feeling of being hit. The Warrens supposedly worked with the Diocese of Bridgeport and 4 priests who were brought in to exorcise more than 40 demons from David. The diocese has only admitted to investigating the Glatzel case, but allegedly the event saw David return to normal. Ernie, however, became their alleged new target after moving in with Debbie and going to dinner at a bar with Bono. A fight between the two older men broke out, and Johnson stabbed Bono. Johnson's defense didn't hold up in court, and he was found guilty of first-degree manslaughter, serving out only 5 years of his initially longer sentence. So those are 6 paranormal cases investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren that apparently people can't stop talking about, and they're even making movies about the cases. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below in the comment section and let me know. If you liked my video, give me a thumbs up. I don't know if you can see it. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos, and if you want to be notified when I post new ones, click that bell down below. And until next time, my ghouls, have a wonderfully creepy night and be safe.